Welcome back to Instruments of Destruction, the game that lets you focus over 100 lasers onto a single point like I did with this creation in the last video on this game. If you want to see that, definitely go check it out. But today, I'm going to be doing a different laser approach. I want to create a hovering orbital laser, basically. I have some fancy engineering designs in mind to be able to keep this thing in the air and be able to aim it any way that I want to be able to fire upon any building that I want to. And I'm going to see how accurate I can make this laser, if I can take down isolated buildings. So right now in this game, as far as building aerial vehicles goes, there are very limited options we have here. We have thrusters and we have a balloon. I am going to be using the balloons for this and probably thrusters for moving around the sky. But before we get to that part, I think it's best to build as much of the laser as I can first, because that's going to determine how heavy this thing is and therefore how many balloons we're actually going to need for this thing to function. Okay, so I built the laser part and it has no other controls other than fires the lasers. And it's already amazing. Now just imagine that thing hanging up in orbit in the sky and being able to rain down laser destruction on any single point. That is where things are gonna start getting hard, but I'm not done with the design of this yet. All right, check this thing out now. I'm finally giving it some space satellite vibes. So when I press the button to fire the lasers, all of those focus in as well. And it doesn't really serve any practical purpose. It's just supposed to look cool, okay? Okay, so now I got the difficult part of trying to make this thing float in the air and be able to aim itself and fire the lasers. This is gonna be the tedious engineering part, and I don't really know if what I have in mind is suited to this game or not. All right, so here's my plan. I gotta use a bunch of balloons in the center of this thing to lift myself up, and I'm gonna try to make this thing able to pivot around these balloons. But my main concern is the counter torque that the balloons are inevitably going to have. I don't really see a way to stabilize this block in a horizontal position, but maybe that's not gonna be as big of a deal as I'm worried about it being. But first of all, oh my goodness, that's a lot. Okay, that's way more. I thought we were gonna be heavier than that. But actually, I was gonna say it's kind of working, but we have this issue. We have this issue of, this. I don't know what to do about that. All right, well, let me delete the balloons on the edges. Maybe they were just too close to the edge there. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now we're not having the issue. All right, let's see if it settles down. I think how these balloons work is up to a certain strength basically determines what their default altitude is going to be when they're at full strength. Yeah, this is not working at all. All right, I thought I had a good idea, but now that I'm seeing it in practice, we're just rotating balloons. This is not rotating us at all. Okay, I think the counter torque completely obliterates that idea with the powered rotation. So I think what's going to need to happen instead is this has to be able to freely rotate about the lift mechanism here. And I'm gonna have to make it completely equal weight on both sides. And then I can use thrusters to adjust my pitch. And as long as the weight is completely equal on both sides of these balloons, it should just feel like it's floating in between as I use thrusters to adjust. All right, so here is first test, and it seems pretty obvious that the laser beam side is much, much heavier. We want this thing to be able to float up and bounce and not rotate at all, pretty much. It should look pretty even. So we get a lot more weight to add over onto the side. All right, how's this one feeling now? Ooh, look at that. Actually, are we a little bit heavier on the non-laser side now? Okay, well, that's pretty interesting. All right, now I need to find places to add thrusters. I think I already see the place. And this is basically going to allow me to pitch myself. All right, so we are a little bit back heavy right now, but you can see as I apply the thrust, I'm counteracting that to tilt this thing forward. And it's gonna be pretty floaty for aiming, so it's not gonna be the easiest thing to zero in on, and especially with the way that the balloons take a long time to settle into their designated altitude. But we're slowly getting there, and now this is starting to look like an orbital laser. Now I just need to regulate the weight a little bit more. Ooh, this is looking pretty balanced. Look at that. But my main concern now is when I fire the laser, those arms close, which might move the center of mass. It does a little bit. You can see it moves forward a little bit, but maybe I can actually have a counterweight that also extends out. Okay, this is starting to look really, really good. This is me not pressing anything right now. It seems relatively balanced. Oh, I might be a little bit front heavy. But when I fire the lasers to prevent myself from getting too front heavy, watch what happens in the back here. So these are actually counterweights, and you can see it actually does seem to work pretty well. Although I just need a little bit more weight in the back here. Let me add these and see if that's enough. Like, it might just be as simple as that right there. Oh, wow. That made it way back heavy. Apparently, that's a really big difference. All right, we are nearly stabilized in orbit. Look at this. This is actually looking pretty good. It does feel like we are a little bit back heavy now. For some reason, it seems to be inconsistent. Like, sometimes I feel front heavy, sometimes I feel back heavy. But I've tried my best to fine tune it. But even when I shoot, you can see it stays pretty level. We got the counterweight going in the back as well. So now let's see if I can, I don't know how to aim this thing. I don't really have like an aiming view or anything like that. What is that? What does first person even look like? I have my seat right there. First person is probably going to be absolutely terrible. I guess there isn't like a first person. There's just a follow cam like this. But what I've also done is I've added these thrusters on the buoyancy device here. And these allow me to turn left and right pretty much no matter which direction my laser is facing. Because if I put them on the laser themselves, then left and right thrusters would cause me to pretty much roll from this perspective. And this follow camera is not going to work right now. So if I wanted to, I could just fire pretty much straight down like that, which is pretty cool. But the whole purpose of this thing is to have super accurate aerial laser focus. So let's see if I can laser in on the midpoint. I'm gonna go for right here, the midpoint of this building. So it's gonna take a little bit for me to dial in the coordinates. I just gotta use all my thrusters to orient myself appropriately here. All right, now I'm going to try to aim down. I'm visualizing this going through to the front of the lasers, and I'm gonna say like right there looks pretty good. I'm trying to go for midpoint in between the top and bottom of this tower. So let's see how accurate my first shot is going to be. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that actually was not bad at all. I forgot that I need to hold down the button. Wow, there we go. Look at that. All right, whoops, a little bit of collateral damage. I was distracted by looking at the awesomeness of this laser and didn't realize I went down a little bit towards that. Let me see if I can take off just the top of this tower without destroying this building down here. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. And how's the building looking beside it? Actually untouched. That is awesome. All right, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a lot easier to aim for tops because I can kind of just start shooting and then control myself and aim where I want to go and use the laser itself as reference. Too bad I can't have like a laser sight, one that doesn't do damage that I can use as a sight finder to see where I'm even aiming. I mean, I could technically turn one of these all the way down to minimum strength, but it will still technically do damage. We might break a window that we don't mean to break, so I don't know if that would technically count. All right, so now I'm gonna try to aim right here for these glass windows without destroying this tower and without hitting the top of this building. Let's see if I can do that. All right, I think I'm lined up. Here we go. Oh! Oh! That was pretty much perfect. Look at that. The windows are gone. Nothing else has been destroyed. This is working perfectly. Okay, but as fun as it is to pinpoint and destroy isolated things, I gotta wreak orbital laser havoc on this entire area now. Let's just go ahead and destroy everything. I got full control over this anyway. Might as well just sweep right through, get every single building here. Yeah, and there goes the frames. All right, over into this building now. There we go. There we go. And then I gotta at least get a little bit of what it looks like from the ground perspective here. All right, so here we are on the ground, and there is the massive laser up in the sky. And this is what it looks. I'm gonna try to aim it myself and see what it feels like and what it looks like to be fired upon from an orbital laser. All right, and here we go. Oh, that looks awesome. I mean, it looks terrifying. I mean, this is not what you want. You do not want to have this happen to you in your lifetime. Oh man, that just looks so cool. And then like with the debris kicking up in my face and everything. All right, I think this was another wild success. I'm really enjoying the builds that are possible in Instruments of Destruction. I definitely need to equalize the weight on this thing just a little bit more. It does tend to lean back a little bit, but other than that, I think this was a fantastic build. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you have any suggestions on other builds you'd like to see in the future, I'll be looking for some good ideas in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some other stuff that you can find on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.